Everything we experience in life, every setback, every challenge, every unexpected turn, trains us for the person we are becoming. The truth is, whether we meant to or not, we've all been preparing for this very moment. Think about it. Every failure gave us resilience, every success gave us confidence, and every doubt gave us clarity. We often believe we're unprepared, but life has already been shaping us. You trained for this life, whether you realized it or not. The question is, are you ready to use that training with intention? Life is the ultimate classroom. Every experience is training. When you step back and look at the journey you've lived so far, you'll notice that nothing has been random. The good moments, the painful ones, the times you thought you failed, and the moments when you felt unstoppable, all of them were shaping you. Life does not hand out meaningless lessons. Every encounter leaves an imprint, every challenge forces growth, and every mistake becomes a teacher, even when we don't realize it in the moment. That's what makes life such a powerful trainer. It gives us practice, often without us even signing up for it. Think about how many times you believed you weren't ready for something. Maybe it was a tough decision, a new role, or a sudden challenge that landed in your lap. The first thought that probably came to mind was, I don't know if I can handle this. But then, as you moved forward, you realized that somewhere in your past, life had already given you the tools you needed. Maybe it was patience you learned when someone disappointed you, courage you built when you spoke up for yourself, or creativity that surfaced because you had to find a way out of a stuck situation. In that moment, you discovered that you were more prepared than you thought. Life had already been training you for that exact experience. When we shift our perspective to see life as a classroom, we stop labeling events as purely good or bad. Instead, we start asking, what did this teach me? How is this preparing me? Even the smallest experiences carry lessons. The argument with a friend teaches us about communication. A failed project teaches us about humility, perseverance, and the importance of better planning. A win at work teaches us that effort pays off and that we're capable of more than we believed. Each piece of training stacks on the last, creating a foundation of skills and wisdom we carry forward. The problem is, most people overlook these lessons. They see challenges as punishment rather than preparation. They see failures as setbacks rather than stepping stones. But the truth is, life never wastes pain and it never wastes progress. Both are part of the curriculum. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is the ability to notice the training, embrace it, and use it. What's fascinating is that this training doesn't just happen in the obvious moments of difficulty. It happens in the quiet times too. The patience you build when waiting for results, the discipline you develop from daily routines, the empathy you cultivate from listening to someone else's story. These are all lessons being quietly etched into your character. The people who understand this don't rush past experiences. They pay attention to what each moment is teaching them. When we adopt this mindset, the fear of being unprepared starts to shrink. Instead of doubting ourselves when opportunities arise, we can remind ourselves, I've been trained for this. Maybe not in the exact way I expected, but life has already equipped me. That belief changes how we walk into challenges. It gives us confidence, not because everything will be easy, but because everything will be useful. Life is always preparing us for what comes next. It doesn't ask for our permission. It doesn't wait for us to be ready. It keeps teaching, shaping, and training us every single day. The choice we have is whether to resist that training or to embrace it, to see ourselves as unqualified or to recognize that we are, in fact, students of the greatest classroom there is. Adversity doesn't break us, it prepares us. When we face challenges, our natural reaction is to feel overwhelmed, to believe that life is pushing us down or holding us back. But if we look closer, we see that adversity is not designed to destroy us. Instead, it acts as a form of training, sharpening the very qualities we will need later on. Hard times are not the end of the road. They are the conditioning ground where resilience, courage, and strength are built. Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who inspire you, the ones who carry themselves with quiet confidence. Chances are, they didn't get there because life was easy for them. They got there because life tested them. They faced pain, disappointment, and failure, but they didn't allow those experiences to define them. They allowed them to prepare them. Just like muscles grow stronger when we put them under stress, our character grows stronger when we endure hardship. Adversity stretches us in ways comfort never could. There's something powerful about realizing that every setback is actually shaping us for something greater. A rejection might feel like a closed door, but it's teaching us persistence and the value of trying again. A loss might bring pain, but it also teaches us gratitude, empathy, and the understanding of what truly matters. A period of struggle might feel endless, but it's preparing us with endurance, grit, and the ability to carry heavier loads in the future. These qualities don't come from success. They are carved into us through the challenges we survive. The danger is when we misinterpret adversity. If we see it as a punishment, we become bitter. If we see it as unfair, we become stuck. But if we view it as preparation, everything changes. Suddenly, the difficulty in front of us has meaning. It's no longer just pain, it's progress. That shift in mindset doesn't erase the hardship, but it gives us a reason to endure it. And with meaning comes the strength to keep moving forward. One of the most overlooked gifts of adversity is perspective. When you've been through storms, you begin to appreciate calm days more. When you've faced scarcity, abundance feels different. When you've lost, you cherish what you have with greater depth. Adversity refines how we see the world. It strips away illusions and forces us to see what's real. And in that clarity, we discover values and priorities we might never have recognized without the challenge. Another gift is confidence. We often think confidence comes from success, but in reality, true confidence comes from surviving hardship. It's the quiet assurance that says, if I made it through that, I can handle this. Every trial you've endured in the past becomes proof that you're capable of handling what's ahead. That's why adversity doesn't just prepare us for external challenges. It prepares us internally by reshaping how we see ourselves. It transforms doubt into trust and weakness into strength. The truth is, we cannot control when adversity shows up. Life will test us at unexpected times, and often in ways we didn't ask for. But we can control how we choose to frame it. We can see it as something meant to break us, or as something meant to prepare us. Those who embrace the latter begin to walk differently. They carry themselves with resilience, knowing that every challenge endured has made them stronger, wiser, and more capable for what lies ahead. Success is built on lessons hidden in failure. It's easy to admire the achievements of others, to look at their victories and assume they arrived there without struggle. But beneath every success story lies a series of mistakes, setbacks, and false starts. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the foundation upon which success is built. Every time we fall short, life hands us information, guidance, and direction, if only we're willing to see it that way. When something doesn't go as planned, our instinct is to feel defeated, embarrassed, or even tempted to quit. Yet those very moments are the ones shaping our path forward. Failure is feedback. It shows us what doesn't work so we can inch closer to what does. Thomas Edison famously said he didn't fail. He just found thousands of ways that wouldn't work before discovering the one that did. That perspective is what turns failure into progress. The lessons hidden in those moments are not visible in the glow of success, but they are revealed in the ashes of trial and error. Consider how children learn to walk. They fall countless times before they take their first steps, but no one would call those falls failures. Each stumble is part of the process, building strength, balance, and coordination. It's only as adults that we start labeling our missteps as signs of weakness rather than steps toward growth. If we could adopt the same mindset as a child learning to walk, we would understand that every failure is progress in disguise. Failure also builds humility, which success alone cannot teach. When we fail, we're reminded that we are not perfect, that there's still more to learn, and that growth is ongoing. Humility keeps us open to feedback and willing to adapt. Without humility, success can easily breed arrogance, but failure grounds us in reality. It forces us to re-examine, to ask better questions, and to sharpen our approach. In many ways, humility is the gift failure gives us, so that when success finally comes, we handle it with gratitude rather than entitlement. Another hidden lesson within failure is resilience. Success doesn't require much resilience. It feels good, it validates us, and it motivates us to keep going. But failure demands resilience. It asks us to get back up, to try again despite discouragement, and to believe in a possibility that isn't visible yet. That act of rising after falling is what strengthens the core of who we are. Resilience isn't built in comfort, it's forged in the furnace of defeat. Failure also refines clarity. Sometimes we pursue things that aren't truly aligned with our purpose or values, and failure acts as a redirection. It pushes us to reconsider, to shift our path, or to refine our vision. Many people who achieve great success will tell you that their biggest breakthroughs came right after their biggest setbacks. The failure forced them to see differently, to approach creatively, or to let go of what wasn't working. Without that moment, the clarity that led to success would never have emerged. The people who thrive in life are not those who avoid failure, but those who learn from it. They don't let it define them as incapable. They let it refine them into someone capable. Every failure is a piece of training, a hidden lesson waiting to be uncovered. The courage to embrace it, reflect on it, and use it is what separates those who give up from those who eventually succeed. Confidence comes from practice, not perfection. Too often, we wait for the moment we feel ready before taking action, as if confidence is something that appears magically when everything is flawless. But the truth is, waiting for perfection is the very thing that keeps us stuck. Confidence isn't a prerequisite for action, it's the result of action. It comes through repetition, through practice, through showing up again and again, even when we feel uncertain. Think about the first time you tried to do something new. Maybe driving a car, giving a presentation, or learning a new skill. Chances are you didn't feel confident at the beginning. Your hands shook, your voice trembled, and mistakes felt unavoidable. But with practice, those same actions became easier. Repetition replaced fear with familiarity. What once felt overwhelming eventually became second nature. Confidence was built not because you waited for perfection, but because you allowed yourself to practice through imperfection. Perfection is an illusion that convinces us we're not ready yet. It whispers that we need more time, more preparation, more certainty before stepping forward. But if you talk to anyone who's mastered a craft or achieved success, they'll tell you the opposite. They started before they were ready, and confidence grew as they practiced. The path to growth is messy. Mistakes are not proof of inadequacy. They are evidence that we are learning, improving, and becoming stronger with each attempt. Practice is powerful because it rewires the mind. Every time we practice, we send a message to ourselves, I can do this. That repetition builds evidence we can trust, evidence that erodes self-doubt. Over time, the fear of failure is replaced by trust in our own ability to figure things out. Confidence is not about never making mistakes. It's about trusting ourselves to navigate mistakes when they come. The beauty of practice is that it doesn't demand perfection. It only asks for consistency. Small, repeated actions create mastery over time. A musician doesn't become confident after one rehearsal. They practice daily until the instrument feels like an extension of themselves. An athlete doesn't walk onto the field confident just because of talent. They train relentlessly until their body knows how to respond under pressure. In the same way, confidence in life is built through steady, consistent practice, not flawless execution. Another hidden truth about confidence is that it grows when we keep promises to ourselves. When we say we'll try and then we follow through, we build self-trust. Every time we practice, even imperfectly, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of showing up. Over time, this self-trust becomes unshakable confidence. On the other hand, when we chase perfection, we often avoid action altogether, breaking promises to ourselves and reinforcing doubt. Confidence also spreads beyond the area we practice in. The discipline we build from showing up in one part of life often transfers into others. The courage to speak up in a meeting may later empower us to have difficult conversations at home. The persistence we build while learning a skill may later carry us through unexpected challenges. Practice doesn't just train ability, it strengthens character, and that's where real confidence lies. Waiting for perfection is a trap that keeps people from reaching their potential. But those who embrace practice, who allow themselves to start before they're ready, discover that confidence grows with every imperfect attempt. It's in the doing, not the waiting, that we become stronger, more capable, and ultimately more confident in the life we're building. We are more prepared than we often believe. When challenges appear in front of us, our first instinct is usually doubt. We tell ourselves we don't have what it takes, that we're not ready, or that we lack the skills to handle what's coming. But if we pause and look back, we often realize that life has been equipping us all along. Every past struggle, every small victory, every lesson learned has added tools to our toolbox, even when we didn't notice. The truth is, we are far more capable than the stories of fear we tell ourselves. Doubt has a way of exaggerating our weaknesses while minimizing our strengths. It convinces us that we are unqualified, yet it conveniently forgets all the battles we've already faced and overcome. Think about the difficulties you've survived in the past, the moments when you didn't know how you would make it through, yet somehow you did. Those experiences didn't just fade away, they left behind resilience, creativity, and resourcefulness that you still carry with you today. When a new challenge arrives, those qualities rise to the surface, often surprising us with just how ready we are. Preparation isn't always obvious. It doesn't always come in the form of formal training or clear instructions. Sometimes it shows up in the patience you developed while waiting for something important. Sometimes it's the problem-solving skills you learned from managing a stressful job or navigating a difficult relationship. Sometimes it's the emotional strength you built while dealing with loss or disappointment. Each of these moments has been quietly preparing you for future tests, even if they seemed unrelated at the time. The danger lies in underestimating ourselves. When we focus too much on what we lack, we ignore the strengths we already possess. This mindset leads us to retreat instead of rise, to hesitate instead of act. But the truth is, most opportunities don't come when we feel perfectly ready. They come when we least expect them. And in those moments, we discover that readiness is not about having everything figured out. It's about trusting that we have enough within us to take the next step. One of the most powerful realizations is that courage often matters more than certainty. You don't have to know exactly how everything will play out. You only need to trust that you can adapt along the way. That trust comes from recognizing that you've done it before. You've faced the unknown, you've navigated fear, and you've grown through challenges. That track record is proof that you're more prepared than you give yourself credit for. Confidence grows when we shift our perspective from fear to gratitude for the preparation life has already given us. Instead of saying, "I'm not ready," we can remind ourselves, "Life has been preparing me for this moment." That subtle shift changes how we walk into challenges. Instead of shrinking, we stand taller. Instead of hesitating, we move forward. We stop seeing ourselves as unqualified and start seeing ourselves as capable students of experience, equipped for the road ahead. Every step we've taken up to this point has been part of our training. Every hardship, every mistake, every triumph has left us with something valuable. When we realize this, the fear of being unprepared begins to lose its grip. We begin to recognize that while perfection isn't possible, preparation has already been happening all along. We are more prepared than we think, and often more prepared than we believe. The choice is whether to use our training with intention. Life constantly shapes us through the experiences we face, but growth doesn't happen automatically. We may carry lessons, skills, and resilience within us, yet if we never apply them with purpose, they remain dormant. Every challenge we've endured has left us stronger, wiser, and better equipped, but it's our responsibility to decide how we will use that strength. Intention is what transforms training into transformation. Many people go through life on autopilot, repeating patterns without ever pausing to recognize the preparation they've already received. They allow fear, doubt, or comfort to dictate their choices, wasting the hard-earned wisdom that came from struggle. Others take the opposite approach. They see their scars as badges of honor, reminders that they've survived and grown, and they use those scars as fuel to step boldly into new opportunities. The difference between the two lies in intention. One group lets experience pass by without direction. The other chooses to use every lesson as a tool for building the future. Training without intention is like collecting tools, but never building anything with them. You may gather resilience, adaptability, and courage, but if you never apply them to the challenges in front of you, they sit idle. Intention asks us to be deliberate, to notice what we've learned, to reflect on how it can serve us, and to apply it to the situations that matter most. That deliberate action is what separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. Choosing intention also means resisting the temptation to live reactively. Life will always throw unexpected events our way, but if we approach them only with instinct and no reflection, we miss opportunities to grow deeper. Intention says, "I've faced this before. How can I use what I've already learned to move forward smarter this time?" It turns chaos into clarity and pain into purpose. It doesn't make life easier, but it makes life more meaningful. This choice becomes especially important in defining our character. Without intention, experiences may harden us, leaving us bitter or resentful. With intention, those same experiences can soften us, giving us empathy, wisdom, and perspective. A difficult past can either weigh us down or prepare us to lift others. The difference isn't the experience itself, but the decision we make about how to use it. Intention asks, "What do I want this to mean? How can this shape me into someone better?" Living with intention also means recognizing that our training is not just for ourselves. The lessons we've gathered are not only for personal survival, but also for contribution. The resilience we've built can inspire others, the wisdom we've earned can guide someone else, and the courage we've developed can spark courage in those who are still struggling. When we choose to use our training intentionally, we create ripples of impact far beyond our own lives. The truth is, none of us arrive at this moment empty-handed. We are all carrying invisible backpacks filled with lessons, skills, and strengths given to us by life's training ground. The question is whether we will open that backpack, pull out what we've been given, and use it to build the life we want. Intention is the key that unlocks the value of all our experiences. Without it, our training goes to waste. With it, our training becomes the foundation for growth, resilience, and purpose.